I bought an abandoned storage unit for $100. It was supposed to be easy money. You watch those TV shows, you see people finding antique cars or stacks of cash, and you think, I can do that. That's exactly what I thought when I saw the listing online. Unit 404. Owner missing. Content sold as is. Nobody else bid on it. Not a single person. I should have taken that as a warning, but I was greedy. I clicked Buy Now, transferred the money, and got the address. It was the biggest mistake of my life. If you are watching this, never, and I mean never, go looking for things that don't want to be found. This is the story of what I found in Unit 404 and why I can never sleep with the lights off again. The facility was on the edge of town, down a dirt road that didn't show up on GPS. It was late afternoon when I arrived. The place looked abandoned itself. Rusted gates, flickering floodlights, and a security guard who looked like he hadn't slept in a week. He didn't ask for my ID. He just handed me a key and pointed to a long row of metal doors. He said one thing to me, "Don't stay after sunset. The lights go out automatically." I laughed it off. I drove my truck around the back and found Unit 404. The lock was old and covered in grime. It took me 5 minutes just to pry it open. When I finally rolled up the metal door, the smell hit me first. It didn't smell like old furniture or dust. It smelled like copper, like pennies, or dried blood. At first glance, it looked like junk. Piles of old newspapers, broken chairs, cardboard boxes. I was disappointed. I started ripping open the boxes, looking for anything valuable to sell. Box number 1, old clothes, men's clothes. All of them were ripped or stained. Box number 2, electronics, but not normal stuff. It was dozens of old Nokia phones all smashed with a hammer. Why would someone keep broken phones? Then I found something strange in the corner. A child's toy box. The previous owner was a single man in his 50s. I opened the toy box. Inside were dolls, but they weren't normal. Their eyes were painted black, and their mouths were stitched shut with red thread. I felt a chill go down my spine. I wanted to leave, but then I saw the desk. I was about to move on from the toys when I noticed something taped to the underside of the box lid. It was a hand-drawn map of our town, but it wasn't normal. There were red circles drawn around 3 specific locations. I looked closer. The first circle was the local elementary school. The second circle was the park where kids hang out. The third circle was my own street. Not just the street, but a specific house. It was labeled Subject 12. My hands started shaking. I dug deeper into the pile of trash and found a leather-bound journal. The pages were yellow and brittle. I opened it to a random page. It wasn't written in English. It looked like code. Rows and rows of numbers, dates, times, and coordinates. But then, I found a page that was legible. It was a list of expenses. Rope, $15. Chloroform, $40. Soundproofing materials, $200. I dropped the book. The dust in the room suddenly felt heavy, like it was choking me. I realized this wasn't just a storage unit for old furniture. This was a staging ground, a place where someone prepared for something terrible. And the worst part? The ink on the last page was still wet. Someone had been writing in this book today. It was a heavy oak desk pushed against the back wall. It looked out of place. I tried the drawers. Locked. I took my crowbar and smashed the lock. Inside there was no money. No gold, just a single old-school tape recorder and a notebook. I pressed play on the recorder. The voice was shaky, terrified. The voice said, "Day 45. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. I hear them in the walls. They aren't human. If you are listening to this, run. Leave the unit. They are watching you right now." I stopped the tape. My heart was pounding. I looked around the empty unit. Just dust and boxes. They are watching you. What did that mean? I looked at the notebook. It was full of dates and times. The last entry was from yesterday. But the owner went missing 3 years ago. I was about to grab the recorder and leave, but something bothered me. I looked at the unit again. From the outside, the building looked deep. But inside, this room felt shallow. The math didn't add up. There was about 5 feet of space missing. I tapped on the back wall. It sounded hollow. I grabbed my sledgehammer. I didn't care about the deposit anymore. I swung at the drywall. Smash! Dust flew everywhere. I swung again. Smash! A hole opened up. Darkness poured out. I turned on my flashlight and shined it through the hole. It wasn't a wall, it was a partition. There was a secret room behind it. I crawled through. The air in there was freezing. In the center of the tiny room was a chair and a bank of monitors. The monitors were on. I walked closer. I looked at the screens. My stomach dropped. Screen 1, the front of the storage facility. Screen 2, the hallway outside. Screen 3 was my bedroom. My actual bedroom at home. Screen 4 was a live feed of me standing in this room right now, viewed from a camera in the ceiling. He wasn't missing. He was hunting. And I had walked right into his trap. Suddenly, the monitors turned off. Total blackness. Then, I heard it. The sound of the metal roller door slamming shut outside. Clang! I was locked in. I scrambled back through the hole in the wall. I ran to the metal door. I pulled. I screamed. I kicked. It wouldn't budge. Then I heard breathing. Slow, raspy breathing coming from the secret room I just left. I wasn't alone in there. I looked up. The ventilation grate. It was my only chance. I stacked up the boxes of broken phones and climbed. I kicked the grate open just as I felt a hand brush against my ankle. I pulled myself into the vent and crawled. I crawled until my knees bled. I didn't stop until I popped out into the parking lot. I ran to my truck and sped away. I called the police. They raided the unit an hour later. But when they got there, the secret room was empty. The monitors were gone. The tape recorder was gone. They said I made it all up. They said I was trespassing. But I know what I saw. And I know he's still out there. Because this morning I got a text message from an unknown number. It was a picture of me sleeping in my bed last night. And the caption said, "You forgot to lock the vent, Adam." I moved out of my house the next day. I couldn't stay there knowing he had been watching me sleep. I changed my phone number. I even sold my truck because I was scared he put a tracker on it. People tell me I'm paranoid. They say the text message was just a prank and the secret room was just a panic room for a prepper. But they didn't hear the breathing. They didn't feel the cold hand on their ankle. Now, every time I go to a public storage place or walk past a garage door, I hold my breath. I wonder if he's in there, watching another screen, waiting for another victim to buy his abandoned unit. So please, take my advice. If you see a deal online that looks too good to be true, just scroll past it. Because some doors are locked for a reason, and some things are meant to stay forgotten in the dark.